All right, Kenman here, and today is double die time. Die project number 16 and 17, part 1. What?
Gee, he wasn't even finished with die number 15 yet. What's going on?
Well, we will get back to number 15 soon, I promise. That's the one we're doing with the marble swirl die, the Koyas, which is right here. I've got all prepped up and ready to do a marble die, which is different than any that we've done before. But hear me out and all will become clear. Let's just get right to it here. But before I start, knocking the camera. Not sponsored by anyone, and I purchase everything at retail price. And I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. Dinner is served. Okay, yeah, so we will get back to 15, which is the Koyas with the marble. Like I said, we're going to do the prep work today for 16 and 17. We're going to say that, we'll say the Eafengrow EF911 is going to be die number 16. And then the Sitivien ST901 is going to be number 17. Okay, so today we're going to combine 16 and 17 part 1 together. But the reason is this Eafengrow has this really big G10 spacer right here that we're going to do a different color to kind of do some contrast. And I was thinking about maybe doing a swirl with that. And if I do a swirl with that and do the rest with something else, I need a couple different projects I can kind of get going. Blah, blah, blah. Here we are. Let's take them apart. Okay, we're going to start off. I'm going to get this Sitivien out of the way. And we'll do what we standard do here is last looks. So here's the Eafengrow. Get your last kind of look at how this is currently. It's not going to look like this anymore. We're not going to be able to swap the clip on this one, unfortunately. But for a cheapo knife, I've kind of given this one a little praise. It's really not that bad. It's a little stiff, but all knives break in. But this is a beefy one. And this G10 right here, it's like I said, it's just a nice little piece. Looks like we're not going to have a captive pivot, so we're probably going to have to hit both sides is what my guess is. So I'm coming in from each side here to get that loose. Looks like everything else is a T6. The pivot was a T8. I like to loosen both sides before you completely undo one side in case one side wants to stick to the center spacer. It's a little bit easier to get them both loose at the same time. When you've got single spacer little barrels in the middle, they can kind of spin and then it makes it harder to loosen it up if it's stuck on one side. In this case with this big flat chunk of G10, I don't think it's going to be would have been much of an issue, but you get in the same mode of what you do and just be consistent. All right, I did the last looks. Let's bring in our little clean, or not clean, keep my leather part clean cloth. So this can get any dirty little spots or residue or oils or something they can kind of collect on one of these extra cloths that I've got. And it just kind of makes it for an easy project surface. We're almost out. Oh, that one did drop. And we are almost there. So, yeah, my plan is to do that Koyas with that white G10 scale with the marble die. And because this Eafengrow has this big spacer that we're about to take a look at, if I can, why does sometimes one screw just sits there and it's like, doesn't want to fall out, but it's ready to fall out. The trials. Okay, so I left that just a little bit on. We can go ahead and take that pivot off the rest of the way and push it through and out. See if there was a little captive piece on there. It didn't really spin when I loosened it, but it doesn't look like it's got any type of a captive pivot to it. So here's one scale. Wow, they really got that liner like skeleton or hollowed out. I can't think of the word. My brain's shut off right now. Okay, we'll get these. Wow, is that like rust? Huh. Yeah. This knife was, wow, look at that. Extremely inexpensive. I have not had it anywhere other than in my kind of living room on the table. And look at that mess. Okay, so we are completely apart. That is a really neat single piece that they've got on that side. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so these are pretty dirty. I'm going to have to clean those scales up pretty good. If any of that oil or that residue and stuff that's on there when you go to do the dye, that can be kind of like a resisting spot that the dye won't soak into as well as a non-dirty spot. So you really want to make sure they're really nice and clean before you do it. But yeah, I'm going to bring this in. Look at that. That is what I appear to see as rust, which... yeah, that's really unfortunate. Like, that is rust. That is something. So, there is something to notice on that Eafengrow. Like I said, I think this was like $22. But you got a D2 blade. It seems to be all right. But that frame piece is steel or whatever. It's, yeah, that's really something, huh? Well, something to be considered and think about when you're purchasing the inexpensive knives. One of the reasons I went for that one, though, to be honest, was a D2 blade and G10 scales. I mean, that you're looking at materials that really aren't all that bad. So when you got some, I mean, yeah, it's on the budget side for sure. But I have some, you know, like this SOG. This is probably one of my favorite knives. We're playing a little hijack game here. But this SOG Terminus, I mean, that's a D2 blade. That's a G10 handle. I mean, yeah, this one's probably, oh my goodness. See, I have to do a couple fails for everyone on my video every day. But what I was getting at is, yeah, D2 steel, G10 handle. And this thing, I beat the crap out of it. I use it all the time. And it's looking great. So essentially you have the same materials, yeah, but how it got rusty like that, it hasn't seen. I never did a daily carry with it. I never took it anywhere. It's just, I got it and it's been sitting on the table. Anyway, moving on. This is a Sitivien. Look at how nice and smooth. This one was less than $20. Look at that. That's ridiculous. And it like drops shut. It's not even that heavy of a blade, but did you see that? This is the cheapest knife I've purchased, and I'm not going to be carrying it, but it blows me away. What is that? 8CR 18 MOV and a G10 J8 handle, but it's, I mean, goodness. Flicks out easy, action simple. The blade is solid, right? It's centered. It's crazy. For $18 that this is what you get, that's nuts. Again, similar price. That other one's got some rust all over it. We'll see what happens when we take this one apart. And yeah. Okay, so I'm assuming we've got another non-captive pivot here with a T8. Get that going. Get it most of the way. And then we'll move on to the rest, which looks like is also T6s, like a normal standard. Just about every pocket knife in the budget world, or even just every pocket knife in general, mostly was going to have either T6s or T8s, or a combination of the two. I don't see why they couldn't just move everything into T8s. They just have a slightly bigger head on the driver, and then with those screw tips, they just tend to strip out less, or have less chances of getting stripped than a T6 does. T6s, if you're not cautious, you can easily get it to jump once, and then that can just cause an instant strip and either ruin the tool or ruin the screw very, very easily. And it's amazing how just that slight step up to like a T8 is just bigger enough that it doesn't really have that same chance to skip as much. Man, that really does not want to. The pocket clip usually isn't the one that's hard to get to come loose. Okay, we are just about there. And that is loose. I just need to get one side to drop. Here we go. And we're going to just start falling apart now. Get the knife blade. And that off of there. We are pretty much, I could set that down. Okay, no rust, which is pretty standard, or what it should be a standard. So that's, there are threads on that scale even. Sometimes it goes through the scale and then just threads into the frame. These threads are literally in that scale. How about that? Okay, we did it. Get this crap out of our way, get myself a little organized here so we can see all the stuff. Pretty simple setup here. This has got a nice little spacer. I don't know what that's made out of. Looks like a plastic. It could be a layered. Either way, it's black. I can't really dye it. Black, you can only make darker, you can't make lighter. So once it's black, it's black. Okay, so we have the Sitivien all torn down. Everything looks good on that. Looks clean. Yeah, so we'll be able to go. So what would we like to see? We've got this Sitivien here. What color do you think would look cool on that one? And then what color would you like? I'm going to bring this one back in for a second. So we have this, and then we have the, ooh, don't lose those. That's probably the other one. This one's got that back spacer. I was considering doing like a marble across here. So whatever color we use, we could marble this or do something interesting. Either way, we want to do a different color with this piece and with the actual one, just because might as well do it to give it some contrast, right? Let's take a quick look. I still have the Kaiser Amicus. I have the new Sencut Vesperon. We have the CJRB Lago and the Sencut Watauga. These are the four that still need to get some dye. Gonna be getting to them soon here. What colors would you like to see? Please comment below. We can look at a few that we've done already. I can just grab this whole thing. I don't know if it'll even fit on camera. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 that we've done already. Die number 15, 16, and 17 coming up soon. Pretty exciting stuff. Making some really fun things. If you want to go back, you can check them all out. Bing, there's the playlist right there. Got a video for all of these. Really like the reds. This Arroyo Artisan Cutlery is really cool. I'm still thinking the Sencut Crowley is probably one of my favorites. This thing is just so Look at that. It just works. But you've got the, oh my God, bad angle. Fantara that I got. You can see through the scale. I'm trying these lighter ones, kind of get a different look for that. Trying just some different stuff. This was, I tried to do green. This Phemius is probably literally one of my favorites right now. It's not even a super expensive knife, but man, it's just, I love the Kubi Phemius. That thing is great. But yeah, having some fun, making the dies, got more to do. Got a bunch of them that are done that look really good. Might give some away. Got some giveaways, and maybe we'll do another giveaway pretty soon. Got more exciting stuff coming in the future, more unboxings. A lot of fun things happening on the channel. And yeah, we just tore these two down. We'll be getting ready to do the individual dies of them pretty soon. Plus, we've got that marble die with the Koyas. It'll all be happening before you know it. I appreciate you tuning in. That's going to be it for today. If you enjoy what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe to see more. It helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Stay sharp, and we will see you soon.